Hi, this is Keeper, and welcome to On Air, Thursday, November 17th, 2011, 1 week away from Thanksgiving. Turkey Day, as I said yesterday, I can smell it, I can taste it, and I am ready. We have a great show for you today. Story number one, we finish up our discussion with DSA President Joe Mariano as he responds to our breaking story about the Direct Selling Association's Political Action Committee they don't want you, distributors, to know about. Great conversation. We're going to look at the criteria that they use to donate and bring in money. Interesting. Also, we're going to take a look at a new movie coming out on the topic of network marketing called Freedom by Avia. It's a great movie. I've seen the trailer already. Looking forward to seeing the whole thing. Next week, we're going to have one of the stars from the movie on air to talk about the movie. So hang on for just a second. We'll be right back as we jump into the conclusion of our story on the Direct Selling Association's Political Action Committee they don't want distributors to know about at our discussion with DSA President Joe Mariano. Welcome back to On Air, and I'm so happy you could be with us today. Right now, in our first segment, we're going to finish up our discussion with DSA President Joe Mariano as he responds to OnAIR's story last week about the Direct Selling Political Action Committee they don't want distributors to know about. Yesterday, just to bring you up to date, we got into my discussion with him. As I said, I spoke to him about it. He got a surprise phone call from him, which I was really excited to get, actually. It's not every day that the DSA reaches out to anyone who's not part of their association. It's really not. I've been involved in direct selling since 1995, going on 16 years. And it's been my experience in talking to executives and talking to leaders in companies. They haven't always been enamored with the DSA because they've always gotten the feeling that they're the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room that's putting pressure on everyone to walk a certain way, to act a certain way, and they don't always give the kind of support that they're looking for. In fact, a number of company executives have told me personally that they wonder why they're even involved. If for no other reason, they just don't seem to be getting their money's worth. The DSA brought on a new president. Vice President Joe Mariano has now moved up into the president's position after some 25, 35 years of Neil Offen doing great work for the DSA and the direct selling community. However, Neil Offen wasn't always the most welcoming or inclusive type of individual. Joe Mariano, on the other hand, has already begun to reach out to different organizations that are outside of the DSA in an effort to foster an environment of inclusion. And when he called to talk about the breaking story that On Air had last week about the Direct Selling Association Political Action Committee, it was really a breath of fresh air. Excuse me. Wow. It was really a breath of fresh air. That's not typically the tack that the DSA would take. He was extremely cordial. I've known him a little bit over the past few years. He is very much about how do we bring out the best in our industry so that everyone prospers. Not just the member companies, but the overall industry globally. They've done some great work over at the DSA, and there's no doubt about it. They have represented us well. However, I think part of the things that they could focus on or try to put a mechanism in place to achieve is getting distributors to become aware of how powerful we are as a community so that we can affect change here for us politically. That way we can use the speaking voices of the millions of distributors here in the United States so that we can lend those voices to the DSA or any other association that looks to speak to politicians on our behalf here in the United States. The way that they can become more powerful is through a unification of distributors' voices, the voices of the companies, and the voices of the associations and possibly other member associations. So In talking to Joe Mariano, he said he would love for distributors to know more about it, but that their hands are tied. And in large part they are, but in another way they are not. And the way that they are not is in this way. How do you have a political action committee representing direct selling and distributors, the largest constituency of direct selling, not know anything about it? I understand that there's not a mechanism in place, there's not a tool in place that allows distributors to donate. However, things like that, particularly in today's political environment after the Supreme Court ruling on January 21st, 2010, is now going to open up some of that. So we're going to have to be a little creative because there's so much political power here. As I said yesterday, politics is the name of the game anywhere. It drives everything. It drives every aspect of life, every aspect of business. It determines what can and cannot happen on any given day, any given time, anywhere in the world. So in talking to him, Joe Mariano, I asked, what is the criteria for giving money to a politician? And he said basically this, that they are looking for those politicians that have the same positive view of direct selling as we do in our community so that they can act on our behalf, usually from what I can tell, in the area of taxes and some policy decisions, because Joe Mariano would love for us to get more involved as a community in the political policy debate. I think he understands that that's really where we have to go. That's really where we have to go. I could not agree with him more. In doing the investigating, anyone can do this, anyone can look at this. You can find out who the DSA has gotten donations from executives from companies, because companies and corporations cannot donate to the Political Action Committee. However, executives from those companies can. And we're going to go over that in just a second here. Also, we looked at what politicians the DSA has donated money to over the years. From what I can tell, in going to opensecrets.org, which is where I got some of my information, I also looked at a couple other places, the Direct Selling Association's Political Action Committee has been around since 1990 at least. And they have given money, depending on the political environment, more to the Republicans, more to the Democrats. It just depends. Typically, they have given more to the Republicans. Which is not surprising. Republicans position themselves as best for business. Yes and no, really. It just depends on who at any political party, in the political party that you're talking to. But for instance, I'm just going to go over some quick numbers with you. For instance, right here, the 2010 Political Action Committee brought in receipts of $74,000 and they spent a total of $34,000. So they have brought in a little bit of money, which actually to me is not a little bit of money. Upwards of $75,000 is a lot of money. In 2012, they've already raised $3,700, and they will put that with the existing $34,000 that's left over. They've spent about $10,000 of that already. The direct selling contributions to federal candidates. This is what I think is interesting. In the House, for instance, in 2010, they donated $4,000 to Democrats and $10,500 to Republicans. Gary Ackerman of New York got $1,000. Marsha Blackburn, Republican of Tennessee, $1,000. David Camp, Republican, got $1,000. Eric Cantor, $1,500, Republican of Virginia, and it goes on. On the Senate side, they donated $9,721 to Democrats, and they gave another $8,000 to Republicans. Evan Bayh, for instance, Democrat of Indiana, got $3,721. Roy Blunt, Republican, over in Missouri, got $1,000. Richard Barr, $1,000. All this is open to the public. This is no secret. Anyone can search this out. For instance, I went to opensecrets.org and kind of looked up Political Action Committee, and all of it came flooded out in front of me. In 2012, well, I got this crazy cast. It's still just giving me a problem. In 2012, so far, the Direct Selling Political Action Committee has given $6,000 to Democrats and $3,723 to Republicans. The large portion of this going to the House so far in 2012 has been to Gary Ackerman, as you can see. The Senate side has gotten, Democrats haven't gotten any as of yet. The Republicans have gotten $1,023. When you do the reporting and investigating on this, you can easily see which executives from which companies have given money to the Direct Selling Political Action Committee. And it tells you oftentimes what political party they are with. So if you want to do that and find out who the individuals are, it's there. It's open to the public. There's no secret to it. I can tell you this. In 2010, the Political Action Committee gave $2,500 to the John McCain Leadership Fund. And the Democrats Win Seats Political Action Committee, they gave $100. So, Direct Selling Association contributors. I'm just going to mention the companies. And that's it. If you want to find out who the actual names are of the executives, because you are just that curious, it's all right there. Pampered Chef, for instance, executives from Pampered Chef, Zango, Manatech, Melaleuca, OxyFresh is all over this. Cutco. Mary Kay has been extremely active in donating to the Direct Selling Association Political Action Committee. As I said, you've got Cutco, you've got, who else? Leo Sophia, Herbalife, Shackley, Party Life, Avon Products, and once again, OxyFresh. That was for 2010. So far in 2012, Party Light has donated to the Direct Selling Association Political Action Committee. Mary Kay so far has been the heavy hitter up until this point. Mary Kay is all over this for 2012. Those women want their issues addressed. The expenditures for the Direct Selling Association has been pretty decent. You know, they have vendors that they have given money to. For instance, Wyden for Senate, McCain Leadership Fund. That's 2010. These numbers. French Blanche Lincoln, volunteers for Simcas, St. Regis Hotel. I don't know what that's about. Cantor for Congress. It's pretty much all over. In 2012 so far, Gary Ackerman, as I said earlier, in terms of expenditures and who they're donating to, has gotten $5,000. Here's the thing. As an association, they are doing their job to, in effect, come in contact and meet those people who can best serve the needs of the direct sellers here in the United States. I'm all for this. I think it's a great thing. I would love for there to be some way that we can get the distributors to rally behind the Direct Selling Association's Political Action Committee. It will only be then that we can get the attention of the politicians. See, we need the attention of the politicians in order to do work for us. There's no other way about it. The only way you can do that, it's not with money, it's with votes. Having a large political voting bloc that we have, and the DSA knowing that they got this in their pocket, we can construct, I believe, certain things, certain bits of conversation that can get politicians to pay attention to us. Every day, everywhere, every politician is looking for a new block of voters that they can court. Politicians rarely speak to direct sellers. You may get a president like Bill Clinton every now and then doing a generic thing. We need politicians to come and talk to us and recognize that the billions of dollars that we generate, the number of people that we put to work, the number of votes that we have can do not only them good, but can also do them harm. We need to make them understand. We need to figure out how to do this. Part of the way of doing that is looking at the Direct Selling Live Tax Credit Initiative that we put in place on this petition earlier this year. It's not so much about the tax credit. It's about rallying those people so we can then funnel those numbers to any politician, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, and say, look, we have the numbers, we have the votes. we have the people that you need to come and talk to, because if you don't, we very well may not vote for you. Now, I understand that the issues are much larger than your home-based business. However, we cannot get them to look at us in a more favorable light, a larger number of them to look at us in a more favorable light, unless they recognize the fact that we have the power to put them in office and take them out. The DSA has done a great job. Joe Mariano, I just think he's going to do fantastic over there. Amy Robinson does a great job over there. Both of these individuals have made our Power 50, which will be coming out again on January 26th. I expect they'll be right back up there. We are a community that can do fantastic good. Granted, we are all over the place in terms of ideology and thought process and where we want things to be. However, I think at our core, we're all about helping people help themselves. And that could be in terms of giving money to certain causes or reaching down and help people create money. We can do a number of different things. I like to say we are conscious capitalism at work. That's the best way that I look at us. And there you have it. That's pretty much my discussion with Joe Mariano. Coming up next, we're going to look at the movie Freedom from the producers of VIA. It's a great, great movie that's going to be about what direct selling is really all about. This movie will be out on, I believe, December 2nd. It will be in film festivals. You'll be able to go to the website. You'll be able to purchase it and really use this as a way to talk to anyone and share anyone about who we are, so they get a better understanding about the great industry of direct selling, which includes network marketing, party plan, direct sellers, the whole thing. So I'll see you in a couple of seconds. Welcome back to On Air. Right now, before I even get into talking about Freedom, I'm going to play for you the 2-minute trailer. Take a look.
Network marketing to me is a place that not only can you be yourself, but a place that allows you to take average people like myself and plug them into a proven system where they can go out and they can achieve really whatever they want. You know, they have the opportunity to create their lifestyle.
The income potential for any good company in the industry of network marketing is truly unlimited. And you can look out there and see it happening now. There are people making what I call part-time, full-time, and big-time incomes.
It's not just about you. It's about sharing it so that somebody else can have the same level of success that you have or greater.
Unlike in corporate America, the people above me want me to succeed. When I succeed, they succeed. So they're constantly coaching me and helping me to grow.
You're able to surround yourself with people that you can really count on.
And the beauty of this industry, if you pay attention, is you'll be given the tools to grow inside, to believe in your greatness.
It's the hardest thing you'll ever do until you figure out how simple it is, and then it's the simplest thing you'll ever do, and then it becomes fun.
Whether I invested $100 or $200 or $500, you need to treat it like you invested $300,000, $500,000.
The industry's created more millionaires than any industry in the entire world. So it obviously works. You just have to find the people who've made it work, do what they do, and you get what they got.
Increase the size of your dream every day and spend every last breath you have chasing it.
But never quit on your dreams.
Never quit.
Don't quit, because you don't know what's around the next bend.
If you stick with it and you keep growing, you'll get there.
Okay, the movie Freedom, I think this particular movie is going to be so positive for our global distributors in their efforts to show people what direct selling is all about and how it really positively impacts lives. I stumbled across this movie purely by accident. Earlier this week, I sent out the message through Direct Selling Live that if you want to be a guest on Direct Selling Live's On Air, just contact us and let us know that you want to be on the show. Tell us what your name is, what company you're with, what topic you want to discuss. If you want to come back and debate a topic that was already discussed, we're open to all of it. On Air looks at any and everything that impacts the lives of the global direct seller. That could be business, that could be social, that could be entertainment, it could be anything, education, lifestyle stuff. We talk about it all because all of it impacts us and all of it impacts you. So, Janine Avila contacted me. She used to be ex-vice president for OxyFresh and one other company, which escapes my mind. And she said she would love to come on air and talk about the movie Freedom, and gave me the link. So I went and took a look at it, and I was really, really impressed. These two guys, or these two people, have really put together a great, great piece about the benefits of direct selling. Depending on who you talk to, the numbers of direct sellers can be anywhere from 75 to 100 million around the world. If you talk to one association, a lot of those numbers are pretty much centered around their members and their distributors who are associated with those companies. And so they really don't look at all the other companies in the world, which happens to be a few thousand actually. There is no doubt about the buying power that exists in direct selling, upwards well over $100 million a year. There is so much power when you talk about those numbers in terms of distributors and in terms of the revenue and income that is generated. This movie is going to be absolutely fantastic, and next week we are going to have Janine on the show. At least that's the plan. So if you want to learn more about the movie, go to freedomthemovie.com. I believe that's it, freedomthemovie.com. Actually, here it is. freedomthemovie.com. Take a look at the trailer. There is a couple of ways that you can go about not only buying this movie, but they have another movie on there called Empower, I believe. Take a look at it. Use this movie to talk to your prospects about the benefits of direct selling, because we're an absolutely fantastic industry. I absolutely love it. I love everything about it, the good, the bad, the crazy, the ups, the downs, the challenges, the whole thing. I think we are a microcosm. We are a mirror of what the world really is. And we do so much. My job is, as a promoter of the industry, is to expose the world to who we are. Movies like this is one way to go about it. Connecting with the DSA is another way. So it's just a fantastic way to really share who we are. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.